Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm Left, and I'm back here in Destiny. Now, what I'm doing today is a little bit different than anything I've ever done. Today, I'm going to be looking at accessible hand cannons in the House of Wolves DLC. Now, this is not going to look at the Deadshot Luna or not the Deadshot Luna, the Venation 3 or the Fulcrum. While it should, I don't feel like getting up to rank 3 in Dead Orbit or Future War Cult just for that. I do have a Venation 3, but currently do not have any space. This is, oh, I could put that away. One moment. Okay, I'm back. Now, I don't have the Fulcrum, but I do have the Chance, which I think is the same thing. I just think the magazine size is buffed a little bit. So what we're going to be doing today is, without perks, because all Taken King DLC items, you can just reroll to any perks that you want for a Legendary Hand Cannon. The best one is probably going to be what is on this Loner Rebel. Without the tree, we have Final Round and Luck in the Chamber, and then you're kind of going to want, for your up and down perk, you're going to want Small Bore to lower the chances of that damage stacking. Now, what I wanted to do was look at these hand cannons and see which one, kinetic damage-wise, is the best. Now, the only one that is going to be left out is, in fact, the Jewel of Osiris, because, as I have stated, I have yet to touch Trials, and therefore I don't have a Jewel. I can look at it, I can talk about it, I have never played with it, so I don't know how it feels. I do, however, know how a Loner Rebel, a Revelator, a Red Hand 9, a Her Mercy, a Venation 3, a Chance, a Fatebringer, and a 6 Drag Pride, and an Up the Ante, even though I've barely touched it, all feel. We're starting out with the Loner Rebel. Now, stat-wise, against any of these other legendary hand cannons, it has, let me switch all that shit up. Let me put it back to its base. So, against the Red Hand 9, which is purchasable for 150 Crucible marks at rank 3 for the new Monarchy, the Loner Rebel is going to have less stability and reload, a lower magazine size, and a shorter range. Impact and rate of fire are the same. Now, how these weapons feel is completely different. I have absolutely noticed a change, and I don't know why. Honestly, I'm not sure. Now, the Red Hand 9 was my first legendary hand cannon from the Taken King DLC because I was hunting 10 out of 10 knife. I was hunting the Red Hand in the Dark Below, trying to get it before the House of Wolves, not the Taken King. I'm saying the Taken King, aren't I? The House of Wolves DLC dropped. Now, I did just kind of have to buy it the day it came out, and I've gotten 4 since then, so, yeah, fucking, if you ever want a gun, change your gamer tag to something slightly close to it. After that, we're gonna put it against the Up the Ante. Now, the Up the Ante has a lower impact, range, and stability, but a higher fire rate, bigger magazine, and a quicker reload. It also looks like the Timber Slash, which, I mean, cool, I guess? I don't know. Now, I haven't touched this weapon much, but I did want 1 damage booster in it. Now, it's got a pretty decent reload speed. Most of what I've done is shoot it, reload it, see how it works, how it feels. I want to say in your hands, but it's in a controller, in your virtual hands. How it virtually feels in your virtual hands. Yes. Fourth wall. Fuck you. We're in a video game. So, honestly, I like it. It's not my favorite hand cannon from this DLC. My favorite probably... my favorite hand cannon is Fatebringer. But, for PvE was. But probably, if we're talking PvP, favorite hand cannon, probably the Loner Rebel, just because it was one of the first ones I maxed out. So next, let's take a look Add the 6 Dreg Pride. Now, this 6 Dreg Pride is very special. This is the one that you could have bought from Varix. This is not the Adept version. Oh, it's a gun. It does the things. Its perk is stupid. Honestly, I feel like they kind of dropped the ball with these rotating fallen perks. The only thing that should have been there was Disciplinarian, making all of the prison weapons much, much better. But unfortunately, they went with a rotating perk and different perks that can do different things. This one has Demotion, which stuns fallen captains, and we've seen that, and we've seen how bad I am at finding that. Compared to Loner Rebel, basically the same stats, just stability and reload is a little bit higher. Magazine is bigger, but when it starts out, it is at 9, so it's going to be one shot bigger than your Loner Rebel. With Extended Mag, it will go up to the same as the Up the Ante, but it has more impact, more range, more stability, a slower reload, and a slower rate of fire. Against the Revelator, you can see about the same as the Loner Rebel. Red Hand 9, close to the same. Her Mercy, the Venation, and the Chance. Now, the Up the Ante is the only one that I've seen that has the same... It's one of the only legendaries I've seen that has the same perks, or not perks, stat layout as an exotic. You can see Thorn has just a little bit more impact, but the rate of fire is the same. Thorn actually has one of the lower impacts for a hand cannon. I mean, let's... both the exotic Thorn and Last Word have a lower impact than many legendaries. Moving on, let's talk about the Red Hand 9, my white whale, this bitch. She's beautiful. I love her. The perks on her are not great. I didn't re-roll it. I just wanted the first one I got, and I made it, and I got it, and yay, thanks. I really like it, especially since I can put speed reload on here. Yup. Making its reload something that's not fucking abysmal. I don't know what it is. Why Bungie does not want you to be able to reload your hand cannon quickly, or sprint and reload. Like, that's a perk I want on a weapon. But its original reload speed is kind of abysmal, kind of hard to deal with. Makes it not really fun to use. But when you're using it against a boss, if you are going to use a kinetic damage primary and you are going to use a hand cannon, I can't stress this one enough because of Triple Tap. Triple Tap's a really good boss perk. If you're using it if you're using your primary against a boss, say you're out of heavy, you're out of special, and that boss is still up, and you're just trying to blast him because it's small arms, go with a, as long as he's not Valis Taric, go with a triple tap hand cannon. It's going to allow you to hit more crits than you would with any normal hand cannon, especially with a large mag size like 10. You're gonna be able to hit, I think, close or over the maximum hand cannon magazine size. Next, we'll move on to the Revelator. I got this gun yesterday. I re-rolled it just to get one damage booster on there because I didn't want to stand at the gunsmith for 6 hours re-rolling this gun. It took me 2 days to get luck and final on my Loner Rebel. Not Last Word, what am I? Now, I like the way this thing handles. It's got pretty decent stability. Its range is lower than the Loner Rebel, but honestly, I kind of like it. It has the same body design as the Lord High Fixer. And it actually has a really good reload speed, and I like a good reload speed on a hand cannon. I really do. Having an abysmal reload is just something I don't want to have to deal with. Having to scramble and strafe and, oh my god. Worry if I'm going to get those shots out is not something I like to do with a hand cannon. Let's pop up here and let's move on to... now the Fatebringer, I could have kept Word of Crota, but it's completely overshadowed by the Fatebringer. Fatebringer is the best. Yay, Outlaw Firefly. Yes. Next, let's move to Her Mercy. Now, this is the Queen's hand cannon. I like it. I think it looks cool. I like the simple purple look of it. Look at that. That's... Hang on. No. That's real pretty. That's real pretty. Pretty bad perks. Triple tap and counterbalance. with injection mode lowering their range. I could run extended mag. It's going to lower my stability, but that range I need. That actually puts it at 13, which is the max, which is real cool. I like the max size. I like this hand cannon. I haven't used it much. The ones that I've used the most are Fatebringer, Loner Rebel, and Red Hand. I was literally just talking about it. God. I like it. Wright has used this in the Crucible. I don't know what perks he has on his, but he said he actually got a good positive KD. I run an exotic hand cannon myself in Crucible, just because their perks are kind of hard to beat. But honestly, overall, good gun. Measures up to all of these pretty well. Now let's move on to, I'm not sure if they changed the Dead Orbit one. I do know that they changed the Future War Cult one. So we'll move on to the Venation 3. Stat-wise, if it is changed, should be exactly the same. Now, this one is real weird because it was before before you could upgrade it. So it's got Return to Cinder, Third Eye, and Field Scout. I basically just kept it for Field Scout. Stat-wise, not bad. It's got good impact, pretty decent range, about mid-grade stability, and a pretty decent reload speed. Not my favorite faction hand cannon. The Red Hand 9's not even my favorite faction hand cannon, just because it didn't really make that much of a impression on me. I do like the way this thing handles. I did use it a lot. I actually keep it on my Titan for him to use, just so he has a good legendary hand cannon. I'm not constantly having to switch everything over. I hope that didn't pick up. If it did, yay, burp. Next, we'll move on to probably my favorite or second favorite faction hand cannon, the Chance. Now the Fulcrum, not 100%. If the stats are the same, I know it doesn't look the same, but honestly, I think if you run the 28, not the 28, if you run the Rock Strikes, you actually should be able to still get this. Same with the Venation 3 if that changed as well. I know you can still get legendaries from the Dark Below DLC if you run the Rock Strikes. Now, I love this hand cannon, mostly because it lived up to its name so well with Clown Cartridge and Luck in the Chamber. Now, this was, again, before you could re-roll them, before I could get Luck and Final Round. This was also before the up-down perk, where it raised one, lowered the other. I do love this hand cannon with explosive rounds, Luck in the Chamber. It's just a monster of a hand cannon. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. For the last bit of this, or for this war set, I'll continue to fight, but I am going to use Fatebringer, because Fatebringer. You can still get it. Go for it. Let me know which hand cannon you prefer overall. I like the Loner Rebel, honestly, over the rest of them. Loner Rebel, Fatebringer. If I had to just rank the ones in this DLC, it would be Loner Rebel, then the Red Hand 9, then the Revelator, and then all the ones that I actually haven't touched. I will say I would probably put Jewel and... Jesus fucking Christ, Vandal. I would put Jewel and Six Dreg Pride down at the bottom, just because I couldn't tailor-make them into the weapons that I wanted. Jewel is always going to have Icarus and Third Eye, and the Six Dreg Pride is always going to have a rotating Fallen perk, as well as Army of One, which is just, it's way too specifically handy of a perk. It would be good in PvP and in Trickle, and that's about it. And only PvP if you just spec'd into all intellect and didn't spread your stats anywhere. If you have like 480 intellect and zero literally everything else, discipline and strength, which is not a good way to go. Not a good way to play this game. Your abilities are paramount to how you play this game. But that's enough of my ramblings. Let me know down in the comments which hand cannon you prefer. seriously, I'm really curious as to what you guys prefer. Please try to leave Fatebringer and Exotics and Word out of it. I really, really wanted to just kind of focus on the ones from this DLC. But really, let me know, and I'll see you guys back. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys back here inside of Destiny.